Hi there, my name is Edwin Bakker and I'll be your instructor host for this course on terrorism and counterterrorism. And I'm very excited to start this education and research project together with all of you. And all of you means thousands of people. Thousands have joined this course and I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting and exciting experience for all of us. Of course, I will hope we will learn more about terrorism and counterterrorism, but also about different ideas, different perceptions, different experiences regarding these phenomena. Before I will tell you more about this course, let me tell you who I am and where we are right now. I'm a professor in terrorism and counterterrorism studies at the Institute of Security and Global Affairs at Leiden University in the Netherlands. And I'm also a fellow of the International Center for Counterterrorism in The Hague. I have a background in political geography and conflict studies, having lectured at several Dutch universities, as well as centers for professional learning, such as NATO Defense College in Rome, the Netherlands Defense Academy in Breda, police institutes and centers for training for judges and diplomats, for instance. Before joining Leiden University, I was the head of the Security and Conflict Program at the Netherlands Institute of International Relations, Klingendael, which is also located here in The Hague. And this think tank has close ties with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as a wide variety of other national and international organizations. Today, my research focuses on security issues in general and terrorism-related issues in particular. And it's very policy-oriented, and that's why I'm very happy to do this kind of work in the great city of The Hague. The Hague, which is also my hometown, is the location of the Dutch government, various ministries, as well as a wide range of international organizations and non-governmental organizations, as well as private actors in the field of security. So, let's now go to the roof of our building so I can show you why The Hague is such an interesting place to study security-related issues.
From the roof of our building you can see some of the key players in our field of study. For instance, over there, the headquarters of Europol, EU's law enforcement agency, and a little bit more to the left you see the headquarters of the OPCW, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. And a little bit more to the left you see that tower of the Peace Palace. I think an icon of peace and justice for more than a century, which was built in 1913. And then downtown you see with the flags, that is the main building of Leiden University here in The Hague, located dead center next to Parliament and a number of ministries. Ministry of Education, which on the roof also houses the National Police, the headquarters of the National Police, and then on that side the red building, which is the Ministry of Home Affairs, as well as the Ministry for Safety and Justice, and for us very important, the National Coordinator for Security and Counterterrorism, which is one of our key partners in discussing terrorism issues and doing research. Then on the other side of the building, you see on the eastern side, you see that white building over there. That's the International Criminal Court. And then more to the left behind these offices is the suburb of Zoetermeer, which is home to the Dutch General Intelligence and Security Service. Well, and then right next to this building, on this side, you see one of the biggest courts in the Netherlands where there have been a number of terrorism trials and a number of convictions. And then even closer, well, that's, I'm proud to say, is the building of Leiden University College, where about 400, 500, 600 students live, where they have both their training and education and where they enjoy this great city of The Hague. Having shown a number of relevant actors in our field of study, let's have a look at the other actors, the radicals, the extremists, the terrorists. Well, unfortunately, this town and its surroundings have also been the location of a number of terrorist attacks, terrorism-related incidents. For instance, on the horizon you see the nearby town of Rotterdam, which was the location of probably one of the first terrorist attacks in the Netherlands on an oil installation allegedly by the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. And if you walk with me to the other side of the building, I can point out a number of embassies, but the nearest one is the French embassy, or what's left of it. They're demolishing it, they're reconstructing it. That was the location of a hostage taking by the Japanese Red Army. And on the horizon you see that part of the city, the coast area, the beach, and in a house in that part of the city, the president of the Federation of German Industries, Hans-Martin Schleyer, was held hostage by the Red Army faction, and he was taken to another location later on and eventually, unfortunately, killed. And then back to the other side, between here and Rotterdam there's another city. Netherlands is very densely populated. You have a city, it's called Delft, and you see some of the parts of The Hague where what used to be the home of a number of youngsters that in recent months went to Syria to fight against the regime of Assad, and they are described as foreign fighters, jihadi foreign fighters, and that phenomenon, which actually in this town, quite a number of them, is one of the #1 concerns of security services in the Netherlands and other parts of Europe. Well, the rooftop of this building is a great place to tell you a little bit more about The Hague and all the actors that are active in this town. But I would now like to explain a little bit more about the course, so let's go downstairs, let's go to my office.
So now we're back in my office. A better place to tell you a little bit more about the content of this course and its structure. Well, I'm sure you have many questions and I hope to answer at least some of them. Let me start with the content. In the first session we will look at the definition and essence of terrorism. And this is followed by a session that looks into the field of terrorism and counterterrorism studies. And from this we derive 5 assumptions on terrorism and 5 assumptions on counterterrorism. And we are going to compare these with empirical evidence and expert opinions to see whether they can be considered true or that we should perhaps regard them as myth or partly true. In the 5th week of the course we will look into some areas which need further study or improvement in the field of counterterrorism. And we are going to explore the cooperation between researchers, academics, experts on the one hand, and policymakers, practitioners and politicians on the other. And we're also going to look into possible future developments in terrorism. The final part looks into one of the most topical questions of today, the issue of foreign fighters. You will probably notice that some videos look a bit different than others. We have recorded the main part of this course in 2013, and the theoretical background and many of the topics that we discussed then are still very relevant today. However, terrorism and counterterrorism are also very dynamic topics, and some insights change over time. Just think of what has happened between 2013 and 2016 in these areas. For instance, the rise of the so-called Islamic State. And that is why we have updated some videos or parts of the videos in late 2016 to provide you with the most up-to-date facts and figures next to the more academic background of the course that is still very much accurate today. Well, in this period we also published a book that I recommend to you as a handbook to this course. It's called Terrorism and Counterterrorism Studies, Comparing Theory and Practice, and it's published by Leiden University Press, and it contains the elements of the videos as well as a lot of additional examples, readings and insights. And for those of you who are Dutch, read Dutch, you might find it interesting to also have a look at the Dutch book about terrorism that I co-authored with Janine de Rooij van Zuiderwijn called Terrorisme, and that was published by Amsterdam University Press. Well, I just mentioned the course consists of 6 sessions, 6 weeks. And in order to get a certificate from Leiden University, there are a number of things you need to do. 6 weekly quizzes and a final exam. You can find more information on the course dashboard. very important, perhaps even crucial to the success of the course, is your participation. Your participation in the questionnaire or in the opinion polls which you can find in the videos. And why is this so important? Well, I want to make use of the truly international nature of this course. You come from around the world, many different countries, and I want to hear about your opinion about terrorism, your ideas about this subject, and also about the differences of opinion between the different participants. One way to do this is by discussing these issues in the forum. And when contributing to the debate, please be respectful to others. The forum is not the place to argue who is right or who is wrong. It's a place for academic and informed discussions, where you can share your perspective and compare it with that of others. And perhaps more important, to learn more about the perspectives of others. Well, I'm very excited to start this education and research project, and I hope you will enjoy it. So, welcome to the course Terrorism and Counterterrorism, Comparing Theory and Practice.